Quiero cambiar tu monotonía, pa' que de nuevo tú vuelvas a ser mía, pa' que de nuevo tú vuelvas a ser mía, y quédate conmigo por todo el día.
What's up, everyone? I'm Jennifer Mota. I'm currently here in the bakery studio with the one and only GIOBULLA. Oh, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to sit here and have a chat with you. Now, you have 17,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. You've opened up for Bad Bunny. You worked with people like Lito Quirino and Juno Lastar. Like, your life has changed so much in the past year and a half. What are the things that you have learned throughout this process when it has to do with music production and artist relations, and how do you cope with all of this?
You know, it's changed a lot because I'm getting so much blessings, like so many blessings that a lot of artists don't get to see. So it's treated me really good. I've learned the most important thing I've learned is that music isn't what I thought it would be. Like before, I would think that just making a song and just putting it out there and have people listen to it and you blow up. But it's actually more behind that. Like there's production, beat production, that you have to sit down and work on your vocals, vocal lessons. There's a whole bunch of stuff that is just I'm now getting used to and like learning as I go, taking it one day at a time.
What about the politics behind music? Like if you could just give us an example.
Like you have to own mostly everything. You have to own your beats. I didn't know. I thought you could just get a random beat and just make a song and just put it out there. But you have to have the rights to your beat. You have to have the rights to your lyrics, the rights to use images in your artwork. So it's just a whole bunch of other stuff like that you have to like deal with that I didn't know before.
You've toured with big names and you've opened up for Bad Bunny. Like, how did it feel to be the new kid in that scene? And what were the thoughts that you were having, the thought process as you were stepping out on stage?
I'm hoping people like my stuff because when you see an artist like, for instance, Bad Bunny or Jordy or any Almighty, Brian Myers, the people that I've opened up for, you see their reaction from the crowd to them. So you just hope that you can at least match the hypeness or the vibe of the actual show and just have people enjoy your event and want to follow your music just like they follow the other artists.
Right. Now, if you can describe your music and genre to a non-Hispanic American, how can you pretty much describe that?
I will take it as my music has since the beginning. I enjoy having people feel something when they hear my music. I have a mixture of Caribbean music, where it's like my core. Then I have English, soul, trap soul, R&B, hip hop. So I just mix all of those feelings and emotions into my music and just hope people like it.
You were born in the Dominican Republic, in La Capital, and you were raised in Philly, but you lived in New York first. How old were you when you first came?
I came when I was 10 years old, like 5 days before I turned 11. So I was 10.
So what was the earliest music memory that you can recall?
From what I know now, I feel as though before I didn't know music. So I think the earliest music that I can think of and that I enjoyed and that I liked, I would say it probably was Aventura around that time.
So you lean more to like the Spanish side. So when did you see yourself really resonating with like hip hop artists and the lyrics?
I would say when I first started going to high school, because that was when I basically learned English. So like I came from just listening to Spanish music at home and at family events or wherever, even in TV, watching TV music, to being in places where I was basically in a way forced to listen to English because I had no choice because everybody around me was English speaking. So I had to listen to English around when I was in high school. But that was around the time where like 50 Cent and Lil Wayne were all like in their time, so that's what I was brought into, that world of.
You have recorded in the Dominican Republic as well.
Yes.
What's the experience like? Is it different compared to recording here?
When I go to Dominican Republic, I'm usually surrounded by the Dominican artists, like whether it's Bulova or it's Químico, like stuff like big names in DR that I'm usually around. That sound that they create like leaks into my music, and I get those feelings and those Caribbean, those beachy sounds that I just, like you said earlier, we just have to. I'll take those sounds and I incorporate what I've known from here and just match them together. So it carries. When I'm over there, I feel like I have more muse and more inspiration from. I love recording in the area. compared to here.
Now, what many people may not know is that you were really pretty much like behind the scenes back in the day, like when you first started in music. Now,
Yes.
you created content for other local artists. You did graphic art, like graphic designs. You did photo shoots and the videography section as well. How did all these things and attributes like help you now creating your own content, and when you're, for example, like when you're envisioning your own video?
I actually learned from looking at it like that. Because of the fact that you're behind the scenes, so you see more of what's actually going on with, again, like I was saying earlier, with the production, with how a song is created, how the actual production of the song is made. So like, it kind of made it easier when I did come into fruition with doing music to know how it works from behind. So I wasn't like just experimenting or like just, how Dominican say, inventando.
Yeah.
So it made it easier actually. And then from the photography side and the videography side and the graphics, I make my own stuff, so it actually helps me with my craft also.
Songs, right? Para Siempre and ¿Qué ha pasado have a recurring theme, right? So both of them have that emotional feeling behind of change, relationship, and love. And I feel like it resonates with a lot of people just because it's so relatable. You did drop names in Para Siempre.
I did.
All right, so when I wanna understand the writing process for this song, because a lot of your music has emotional feeling, but this in specific, it was more personal. And throughout it, you're just like, the listener, even if I didn't know your life story, I understand, like, wow, like he's just truly sorry. Did you do this as a way of pretty much like closure? Or did you want this for, like, did you write this for the girls, or how did you go about the writing process?
All my music, I can say that like a 95% of all my music is real moments and real feelings that I've had.
He tratado mil veces de encontrarlo, pero siempre termina en el vacío. Me pasó con Steffi, con Jolly, con Jessie, con Coque. Solo la menciono pa' que sepan que fue.
The song kind of like served as, in a way, as therapy. Because, you know, we all, as humans, we have emotions that we don't know how to express and how to let out or how to tell somebody something. I usually take my music as that. Like, I use my music, therapeutic, where I can just express what I'm feeling at that moment, or not even that moment, just moments that I've had before, and I can compile them all into one little box and just put it in a song, and that's how that song came out.
The title is just so perfect, because when you think about relationships or love, or you go back to even high school, in your first relationships, you just look at everything as like a forever thing. Exactly. And sometimes it doesn't work that way. And I think that's another reason why a lot of people can relate to it. After that, did anyone hit you up, or like was there any like damn, I get it, you're sorry, we can move past this?
Para Siempre is actually the song that I've gotten the most response from, like out of people that I know or females in that actual song. Like, because I'm not slandering nobody and I'm not calling people out, I'm just expressing how I felt or how I feel in situations. So they, you know, I got a lot of text messages from that song. A couple not so good, but a couple of them were okay about it. They understood.
The music scene right now in Philadelphia is so interesting, because it's all really about geographics. So like right here, El Barrio, where like all the Hispanics are at, like there's a local scene, and it's split up into like bachata bands, típico bands, and then there's like you guys are working on, you know,
urban.
It's either the urban, and then we have like Center City kids, West Philly kids, and they're working on their stuff, and it's just all different. What's the most interesting about making music in Philly that you find that's different compared to other cities?
Philly, I've always said it. Philly has, in my from places that I've been to in the States, I feel like we have the best talent. Because, you know, you have New York, where it's the core of, in my instance, Spanish music, hip hop in specific. But the artists, not to slander anybody, but a lot of them sound the same. And they put out the same concept. Whereas here in Philly, you have a whole selection of different artists. Where, like you said, you have the típico, and then you have the bachata groups. But then in the urban side, you have people like me that will give you the emotions and the more commercial sound, and then you have other artists that will give you the street sound, more of the female sounds. There's like a whole bunch of different, like a pot of talent, in my opinion.
In Philadelphia, we have a lot of talent, but we are also the toughest crowds.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you've learned along the way in performing?
I feel as though the biggest thing I've learned is don't overdo it. Because in my instance, when you're going to open up for somebody, what a big artist, you have to keep in mind that they're not there to see you. So you can't expect you can't have an expectation from the crowd. Like, if you are able to carry them to a certain point, man, try to maintain that situation, but don't overdo it and try to, like, because they're just gonna ignore you. Because at the end of the day, you have to, like I said earlier, you have to win them over. But because they're not there to see you, they're there to see their favorite artist or whoever. So you have to just do your thing and just hope they like you. But you can't overdo it. If you overdo it, they'll notice you overdoing it, and they won't from the beginning just. No,
Yeah.
Which I haven't had so far, so thank God.
Thank God.
Yeah.
You won't.
I do not want that.
Alright, so like rapper-producer relationship is really, really important. And you've mentioned Miyabi. How is your relationship? Like, how does it work? Do you guys feel like you complement each other to that point where it's just like you guys can be there all day, every day in the studio and just bounce ideas back and forth?
The good thing about me and my producers, I have a couple that we...
So you have Miyabi?
I have Miyabi, I have Draco, I have ATM also, I have Adam, Big Chris.
What do they all bring to the table? What makes them different?
Their sounds is different. They all have different backgrounds in a way. Like Miyabi can give you the soulful, that sound. My core sound comes from Miyabi. And then you have Draco and Big Chris that can give you that Caribbean feeling because they are in Dominican Republic. And then you have ATM who has that more hip hop core type sound. And then you also have Frank who also has that hip hop core sound. All of those different vibes that whenever I'm in the mood for one song, specific type sound, and I just go to that one producer. So and they're all like my brothers, so they could tell me, "Lo, I don't like this," or "I like this," or they even in certain instances they make stuff and they be like, "Oh, listen, I made this and it sounds like you. Here you go, mete mano."
So what are you working on now?
Right now I'm working on. I have to complete an album.
Do you have a name yet, or is that a surprise too?
I'm reserve it. I'm gonna keep it to myself for right now because I just want to drop it. I don't even want people to know. I just want to just put it out there, just as a thank you for people that have been listening to my music for this experience. Just give them a little.
Well, thank you so much for sitting with me and chatting with me. I know your fans are gonna love this, and they're gonna have a better touch of what your personality is and who you are as a person.
Thank you.
So.
GIOBULLA.